Serbia is in crisis. The Serbian Revolution occurred on December 12, 2028, when armed mobs of protesters stormed several key government buildings in Belgrade. Vucic is forced to step down after an angry mob of protesters surrounds his house and demands his resignation. He's then replaced by this other guy, who is really hard to pronounce, so I'll just call him Dragon, because it sounds cool. Anyways, Dragan was elected in Serbia's first democratic elections, and he promised to join the EU and NATO, a full 180 from Serbia's previous pro-Russian foreign policy. He even hinted at a potential normalization of relations with Kosovo if he was allowed to join, a major development. In practice, however, Serbia still maintained its claim on Kosovo. For instance, on January 13, 2029, Kosovo held two referendums on joining Albania. One was high at 58% support, the other was even higher at 62%. But Serbia claimed the referendums were illegitimate, and Albania did not allow Kosovo to join it out of fear of Serbia. Despite this, Serbia was allowed to finally join the EU now that Vucic was gone and they were a democracy. But what about Turkey? Did they stop destroying themselves yet? Nah, Turkey's always destroying themselves, but at least they ended their civil war. They install a new constitution based on secularism, democracy, and the rule of law. Erdogan flees to Hungary, hoping to receive asylum there as his own country hates him and wants his head on a pike. Speaking of which, Hungary had been having some trouble of its own, during which peaceful protests were led by this guy, Peter Magyar. He marches on the streets of Budapest, demanding an end to Hungary's corruption and a return to democracy. And he gets arrested, and the protests are violently crushed. Viktor Orban, fearing a violent uprising like the one in Turkey, declared martial law as he cracked down on protests despite EU opposition. But this just made people hate him even more, and the EU sanctions wrecked Hungary's economy. Eventually, he would be forced to step down due to his extreme unpopularity. But the question now was, who would succeed him?